My name is Malhar Vinod Satav. I'm a first year law student at National Law School of Bharat, Bangalore. And my question is, you argue in your book that internalization of this civilizational consciousness is nothing short of an historical imperative in today's day and age.
Correct.
And you base this argument upon this indigenous ontology, epistemology and theology, this set.
Right.
So how does this theoretical philosophical construct is translated into our daily practical lives, where we fight this colonial hangover looming large over our civilization without being branded either as a revisionist or without being cancelled?
Fair enough. Okay, so I'll give you a concrete example, and since you come from my fraternity, I'll answer that. Read the National Education Policy. Paragraph 16.7, if my memory serves me right, is the only paragraph dedicated to legal education. Read that. Not one reference to introduction of the Shat Darshanas or the 6 Indian schools of philosophy in legal education. So, kya national education policy? Are you have not, and what are you looking? You're looking at AI ko legal education mein kaise introduce kare. Is that what is called indigenization of education policy? I would ask, when students are being taught jurisprudence, which is the fundamentals of the law, and they don't have exposure to Indian philosophy, what is an 18-year-old supposed to assume? That India's contribution to jurisprudence which is worth reading is sunnah, zero, cipher. That's the impression that you create. So you start with that. Then, second, you know for a fact, they know for a fact, that when there is no law, we fall back on taught law, and when it comes to taught law, you fall back on common law. Common law is directly traceable to principles of Bible as established by Privy Council judgments. Common law is sourced exclusively from biblical principles. Why don't we start talking of dharmic principles for the purposes of taught law, immediately applicable? Where is the problem? That's point number 2. Point number 3. In terms of indigenization of thought and practical, let me just, because a lot of people have asked me, I'm happy that you didn't ask me the question because that means you've understood it. Why have I used ontology, epistemology and theology in that particular order? Because people are like, kya bole ja rahe ho? What is this? Shashi Tharoor ki tarah bas pheke ja rahe ho. Okay. I said, no. I have explained. I've shown what I can do. The point is, ontology, epistemology, theology ka matlab ye hai, ontology is a society's understanding of metaphysics, which means the relationship between individual consciousness and the supreme consciousness. That's where your knowledge begins. There is not a single Vaidika school of philosophy out of the 6 schools which doesn't start with this fundamental question as to what is Atma and what is the relationship between Atma and Paramatma. The discussion starts from that. And that is exactly how Christian ontology also begins. The difference is, they have a different view of the soul and the relationship between soul and God. We have a different understanding of Atma, which is not the same as soul, okay, and the relationship between Atma and Paramatma. So that is the basic distinction. So when someone makes the stupid statement, all religions are the same, pagal ho kya? They are not the same. How can they be the same? Theoretical foundations ही अलग हैं भाई. Theory अगर अलग है तो applied sciences कैसे same हो सकता है? Then, what is epistemology? When metaphysics is then translated or reduced to knowledge systems, where you make it science so that you can understand the metaphysics better, that translates to epistemology or your manners of learning. Okay? Since everybody is not capable of understanding metaphysics or knowledge structures, you need theology. Because the common man cannot understand all of this, he doesn't have the patience for it, he doesn't have the training for it. Now, I'll give it an engineering twist. I have done thermodynamics, I have done stress analysis and all of this in my previous avatar. So there are certain equations known as Euler's equations. It's EULER is not Euler, it's Euler. Okay, so it's not Eureka, it's Eureka. The common mistake that we make is it's Eureka, nahi bhai, it's Eureka. So Euler's, let's say, equations exist. The engineer knows which equation to use, but he can't formulate an equation himself because he is not a theoretician. That is the difference between theoretical sciences and applied sciences. That is the distinction between metaphysics and knowledge and religion. So when I use this, I am saying these are the basics. Now you are applying Christian OET to Hindu institutions because you are saying deity and God are the same. And since everybody can enter all places in the church, all Hindus must be able to enter the sanctum sanctorum, which is Garbhagriha. Because he's saying, wo kar rahe, tum nahi kar sakte ho. I had this genius question thrown at me. If Muslims allow their women to enter Haji Ali Dargah, will you still object to women of reproductive age group entering Sabrimala? I said 100% yes. My position will not change. Because my position is not dependent on what he does. My position is dependent on what my tradition tells me. So ये apples और oranges के बीच का जो comparison होता है, this has become the Hindu philosophy. उसने थप्पड़ खा लिया, तुम भी खा लो. अरे मुझे थप्पड़ ही नहीं खाना है. Why should I actually say equal treatment means that stupidity or whatever they do, I should also do? I'm not saying that's stupidity. I'm saying you do what you want to do. That's between you, your consciousness and your religion. I will not subscribe to it. Reverse logic, apna, then we do a lot of things. We worship the feminine. Worship the feminine. Do that. Bring back the deities which worship the feminine. Talk about it. You ban books in that name. You don't allow even books to be read on that name. तो ये क्या लॉजिक है भाई, वन वे स्ट्रीट. सो देयरफॉर आपके जो फंडे हैं ना पूरी तरह से हिले हुए हैं, टू पुट इट इन डेली लैंग्वेज, which is your ontology is gone for a 6, your theology is gone for a 6, and your epistemology is gone for a 6 because you have completely Christianized your way of looking at Hinduism. So there is, one is to convert from one religion to another, the other is to convert your own religion in the mold of the other. So it is happening with us both ways. Hindus are also converting to Christianity. Hinduism is also being converted to Christianity. Amazing. So therefore, the most practical way is to first of all understand the significance of a temple. Respect that particular place and its rules. I had one genius on Twitter basically saying, comparing nude sauna beaches in Germany with dress code for temples, because there was a video that was released with respect to Mangalorean temples saying women cannot wear these clothes and men cannot wear these clothes. Some genius put out saying ये क्या rules हो सकते हैं, भगवान कुछ भी सह लेंगे, भगवान तो ये नहीं कहते हैं, तुम्हें कुछ पता है भगवान क्या कहता है? Hey, who are you to say that? It's a training. You're nowhere qualified to make such statements. You assume that on religion everybody can say everything, but on law only lawyers must speak, on medicine only doctors can speak, on education only teachers must speak, but when it comes to religion, it's free for all. You don't respect the specific training and the anushtanas and the training that they have to go through for this. Because no,